Is America a continent? While the answer may seem obvious, this is actually a surprisingly contentious topic, with some people insisting that America is just one sole continent and others insisting that the Americas are broken up into North America and South America, two separate continents. But why is that? Well, a lot of this confusion has to do with the fact that the definition of what a continent actually is pretty loose. For example, Britannica defines a continent as a large, continuous mass of land conventionally regarded as a collective region. So let's start with the first half of that definition. Are the Americas one continuous mass of land? Those that argue in favor of a singular American continent often bring up the fact that, despite technically being divided by the Panama Canal, the Americas are one continuous mass of land connected by the Isthmus of Panama. However, those who argue against one continuous landmass argue that North America and South America are on different tectonic plates, and therefore are not geologically one continuous mass of land. So let's go back to our definition. In order for a landmass to be a continent, it must be conventionally regarded as a collective region. Now, this is very much up to interpretation, but what determines a collective region is generally agreed to be based upon cultural, historical, and geopolitical factors. For example, Europe and Asia technically occupy the same continuous landmass, but due to there being massive cultural and historical differences, they're not generally regarded as being on the same continent. Latin American countries tend to teach a six-continent model, in which the Americas are one continent instead of two. One could argue that the Americas' shared history of European colonization provides a valid historical and cultural basis for defining America as a single continent. On the other hand, Anglophone countries tend to teach a seven-continent model in which North and South America are two separate continents. One could justify this by arguing that North America is wealthier and more industrialized, while South America is poorer and more agricultural, thus justifying their classification as two separate collective regions. So basically, whether or not you consider America to be one continent or two depends on how and where you were educated, which means that there is no definitive answer to the question,